Alright, so it's time to make some trays for the large 600mm cabinets. I have a bit of a dilemma what to use to make my drawers or trays out of, but it turns out I have some 4 pieces of ash that have been sitting around here for the last 3-4 years. The original project never came to fruition, so I think maybe it's time to take that ash and turn it into some drawers. I have way too much wood in this small workshop, so it's time to use it up for something. So yeah, stay tuned. Let's cut some ash. Alright, so my chop saw is buried in the workshop here at the moment, so I'll use the slider's crosscut to trim the lumber to a rough length. You know, I must say, this machine is super cool. I absolutely love this machine. It's a Hammer A3, and I have the silent power cutter head block installed. And it is really, really quiet. If it wasn't for my, dust extractor with a 4-horse motor on it in the background, roaring away, I could almost forget to wear hearing protection. It's that quiet. But it's more than the sound level, it's the quality of the cut, and it's the ease of maintaining this machine with this cutter head block that I enjoy most. My previous machine from a different manufacturer had straight blades, and if I had damage on one part of the blade, that usually meant that I had to stop work and then change out the entire blade, get it sharpened, and I had more downtime. But now I just simply rotate that small piece of carbide. If you don't know, these cutter head blocks, they have 30, 40, 50, whatever the number is, small pieces of carbide attached. And if you have damage, you just rotate that single piece of carbide around, and the rest of them you leave alone. So it's faster, the quality of the cut is better, and it's quieter. Alright, let's just jump ahead here. In the real world I had 12 of these to joint. The next step is going to be to joint one edge. That gives me a straight edge that is then 90 degrees to the first face that was jointed. And that's going to be important when I want to go to the bandsaw and resaw this lumber. Well, this machine supposedly has dust collection. It, I don't know, it does an alright job of keeping the inside of the machine free of dust, but it doesn't really do anything for the outside environment with a human operator. You can probably tell by the paint scheme and paint color, the manufacturer. And unfortunately, I had a really bad experience with this company. This machine came with some damage. It was minor, but still, I contacted their customer service department here in the European theater, and they were just really, let's say it this way here. I've had a chance to buy more power tools in my workshop, table saw or jointer planer, and I'll never ever choose them again. But on a positive note, I'm very happy about the fact this machine has lots and lots of power. It's running on a 3-phase outlet, and I never have troubles resawing timber. Okay, so now I'm just going to plane to the final thickness my lumber and remove in the process all those resaw marks from the bandsaw. Maybe it's just me, but I really love seeing a piece of lumber that's rough and then it comes out the other side, it's all smooth, and just a chance you get to see of how that grain pattern looks after it's been planed. It's just I don't know, in some way very pleasing. Now I'm at the final step here, which is to rip the lumber to width before I'm able to cut my dovetails. The overall height of the trays is 120 millimeters, and that's what I'm cutting now for the width. I'm now clamping my stock in to cut the tails. When I cut the dovetails on the first end, I left the stalk extra long. That way, if I made a mistake, I got a second chance. But now, I'm trimming them to length. If I make a mistake now, I'll have to start all over again. Now I'm setting up to cut the pin board. I'm now breaking the lumber down into a more manageable size. Then I'll come back and cut it to final dimension. The pieces I'm cutting here will be used for the tray bottoms. Alright, all three of them will get one cut on this edge, and that will then establish a 90-degree corner, and then I can move over to my rip fence to rip to size. Alright, just give that slider a little shove out of the way. And now I'm thinking to myself, I wish I had marked which edges I had cut. Let's figure it out here, Matt. Here we go. Alright, setting up for the last cut here and checking my measurement on my scrap wood notepad. So the saw is now set up with the dado cutter installed, and I'm cutting the groove for the tray bottom to sit into. When I did the planning for the dovetails and the location for the tray bottom, I was really careful to make sure that the groove falls in the right spot on the dovetail joint. In doing so, I'm able to make it so you can't see the groove from the sides at all. On the front and the back you can see it, but I'll have a false front on the front when I'm finished, and on the back, well, it's the back. This allows me to make a pass through the entire length of the material without having to do a stop cut and pull out a chisel. With the machining of the wood complete, this concludes part 1. But coming up on part 2, you'll get the chance to see me assemble and glue up the drawer trays, prepare the trays for installation of the Blum drawer hardware, and final finishing. Stay safe, have fun on your own project, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.